fans and friends, it's the Pope of Plastic here. Again, from Harry's Hobbies in Norton, Massachusetts. You gotta come to Harry's if you like model building, if you like collectibles, if you like grouchy old people, if you like charcuterie every once in a while, if you like just about anything that you can think of. Beyond model building, toys, collectibles, G.I. Joe, Hot Wheels, you name it, they got it here at Harry's, but that's not what I'm here for. Vintage model kits. That's what I'm here for. And Harry's got tons of them. Every time we come in, it's almost hard to pick what we're going to unbox, but I'm trying to keep kind of a theme here because we've done ships, we've done planes, and we've done cars, and the one thing we have not done yet is any armor. Okay, so we were looking through and I spotted, this is nostalgic for me, because in the 80s, when I was really in my heyday as a young person building models, when I really started getting into it, the models that I always wanted and always saved up to buy were the Testors models, produced by Italy. And the reason I liked these models so much was the packaging. And this packaging, to me, to this day, is some of the best model packaging that's ever been done, with the gorgeous photography of the finished model on the front, and then all the different photos on the back of the completed model. And I mean, this is what would rope me in, because I would imagine that I could build the model like this and I would just ooh and ah over it. And I don't know that if I think I did okay, because having the photography of the model on the box gave me something to kind of follow, because my older brother Dave, who was a great model builder, would never teach me anything. So I would go and I would try to emulate exactly what was on the box. And they also told you everything on the side of the box, what you needed to paint and complete the model. And to this day, I think this is some of the best model packaging that was ever produced, period. And I'm going to tell you a little story. There was a time that I was a packaging designer for Hasbro toys. And one of the big lines that I got to work on for quite a bit of time was G.I. Joe Rise of Cobra. And we had to come up with the package design line look. If you Google it, Rise of Cobra Toys, Hasbro, you're going to see some reflection in that packaging from the Testors packaging. Mainly in having all the different photographs on the box of the toy in different positions like this. I use this kind of as my guide, because this packaging meant so much to me as a kid, and it would draw me in. Every time I went to the hobby store, it didn't matter if it was a car, a plane, a boat, whatever Testors was doing was in the same exact packaging. Now we call this brand consistency. So whenever you see all the packaging is exactly the same, except for the imagery and the copy on top changes, that's what we call brand consistency. And Testors nailed it. To this day, I think if Testors was still around, this would be the packaging they should stay with, because it's so iconic. And this looks like modern packaging to me. This is looks like something that could be produced today and would be very, very successful. These models here are from the 1980s, the mid 1980s. I built both of these when I was a kid, and when I saw these over in the model shop here at Harry's, I instantly said, these are the ones I got to look at, because I have not looked at a vintage Testors kit, and I can't tell you how long. Probably when I was a kid. Probably that was the last time that I looked at a Testors kit. And these kits, even back in the day, weren't super cheap. I think they were probably in the $20 range, something like that. And the quality of the kits, if I remember correctly, was always pretty good. And being the fact that they were made in Italy, the Italians were fantastic mold makers and designers and artists, and they produced good model kits. So today, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to look at two kits from Testors. What do you think about that, Steve?
Excellent. I think that's a That's the plan.
Yes, sir. And there you got the old Model Master paints, which has been around for a long time. They were doing, I don't know, were these acrylic paints, these Model Masters?
They made an acrylic line.
Yeah.
That one you're pointing at is enamel.
Enamel, okay. When I was a young kid, I was doing all enamel until the early 1980s when I switched to Tamiya. And Tamiya acrylic, which I thought was just the most incredible paint ever. And to this day, Tamiya acrylic is all I use. It's all I use, even though I can't get any support whatsoever from Tamiya. I promote them every single day. I've sent them countless letters. They are harder to get a response from than Ferrari. I used to be in the car world, and I thought Ferrari was difficult to deal with, but I ended up becoming friends with the folks at Ferrari, and I have a great relationship with Ferrari. Tamiya, I can't get them to answer anything. Nancy, I don't want anything for, give me a deal on some paints, for God's sakes. I buy the paint, Tamiya paint by the gallon, for God's sakes. You think with as much promotion as I give Tamiya, they could give, this is a whole nother subject that I'm getting angry, Steve.
Oh, calm down.
Anyway, we're going to do 2 Testors kits, and then at the end of this, I have a surprise that I'm really excited about to share with you. A surprise. I mean, and I love surprises, and I love giving surprises. I much rather give a surprise than get a surprise, Steve. I enjoy giving. I like the reaction of people getting something, and it makes me feel good.
It's the thought that counts.
It's the thought that counts. Beautiful. I mean, absolutely. Now, if somebody wants to send me a surprise, I'm certainly not going to turn it down. If Tamiya emails me after they see it, says, "Hey, you know what, Pope? We're going to give you a couple bottles of flat white paint." You know what? That would satisfy me. I don't want any surprises, though. But if something like that happened, I would be happy. Look, these have not been opened, I don't think, since the 1980s. So let's open this up. Man, this brings back memories. I can't tell you, Steve. This really brings back memories. The instructions. I have not looked at a Testors instruction sheet since the 1980s. You have your history. You got the beautiful picture.
That's one of the things I always liked about Testors kits. They told you the history.
Yeah, they tell you the history and assembly. Look, the instructions are beautiful. And now I remember that they would always give you the sprue. And I don't think many other people Revell, Monogram. Even Tamiya didn't give you the picture of the sprues. I think Testors may have been one of the first ones to do that. Now, somebody will probably tell me I'm wrong. And again, I have to say this. I don't know everything. I do not know everything out there. I am not an expert on everything. I build models. I research the model. I build the model. And then at the end of the model, I understand a little bit more about the model. I am not an expert. Send all the comments you want. When I mispronounce something, say something wrong, you can call me an idiot, call me stupid, call me whatever you want to do. I don't care. I don't care. I'm not an expert. I'm a model builder, okay? And we're looking at this together for the first time. Not the first time, because I actually built this model back in the day. So instructions look really, really, really good. I mean, really good. Here's your decals. I think these decals are still probably still usable. There's no date on those. You got your color guide. Pretty simple kit here. Oh, this goes in this is the end. This is your painting guide. No engine in this. This is the kind of, I can hear this right now, my grandmother. I would go to my grandmother's every summer, and we were allowed to go to the hobby store. Once while we were there, our parents would give us, my mom and dad would give us a little bit of money. And we were allowed to go to the hobby store one time over in Indian Rocks Beach, Florida, which is next to Clearwater. And there was a hobby shop in Clearwater. My grandmother would take us there. And she would say, now you only have $15 and no more. So don't bring me anything that costs more than $15, And of course, I would pick something and I would start crying and everything else and beg her to spend a little bit extra so I could get something extra, and it was a whole thing. But I remember getting this kit in with my grandmother at the hobby shop. I wish I could remember the name of the hobby shop, but that was back in the late 70s. And I remember getting this kit and building it at my grandmother's house on a card table. I'll never forget it. That's how I enjoyed my summers, was building models. Instructions are beautiful. These are really, really nice instructions. And then you have your color guide here, your painting guide. This would stand up today. This is, now let's see the quality of the kit. I hate to do this, but this hasn't been opened, but I'm gonna open it. How can I do a review if I don't open the plastic here? You know what? It's so cool being able to go back in time and open these packages for the very first time after they've been just sitting for years and decades. I remember this plastic. I remember the color, this unique color of the plastic, which was this greenish blue. But look at that. The molding is very, very nice. It's got some seam lines that you'd want to sand down, but the molding is terrific. I didn't even say what this is. This is the Steyr RSO-1 battle tractor, German battle tractor, which is a very interesting subject matter, but everything is molded very nice. I do remember that their plastic was very brittle. It was very hard, and I can tell you that it is exactly how I remember it. Beautiful texture on the seats here, the canvas on the seats. Very, very little flash. I'm going to do the clear parts since they're just in here. The clear is very good. Here's your wheels. Wheels are molded good. Detail looks great. I think this would be a great kit. You know, we have yet to unbox a disaster, Steve.
No, we haven't.
No disasters yet. We're gonna come upon one soon, though. I can tell you. Now this I don't like is the flexible tracks. I never liked these, but there you go. So you might want to swap those out. Find something in the same scale. The wood texturing is beautiful. Again, we talked about this last week, that it's all different, which is great, because this was before they were doing this with computer CAD.
Even the fine.
Just all of the wood is beautiful, which leads to very, very good weathering and dry brushing. Even your little instrument panel there looks really good. It's exactly how I remember it. Exactly how I remember it as a kid, sitting at Mamo's house. That's what we called my grandmother, sitting at Mamo's house and building models. Boy, this brings back some memories. So this is the first one. I think this is great. This is made in Italy. That says it all right there. Decals still look good on this one. So I'm going to give this one a thumbs up, Steve.
All right.
And look, price hasn't gone up too much since 1979. $40 for this kit.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to get with Katie over there here at Harry's Hobbies and say, hey, what was that tractor that the Pope of Plastic unboxed? And she can say, oh yeah, that was the Steyr RSO-1 battle tractor by Testors, and we've got that right here, and it's $39.99. And you're going to say, well, I'll take it. I'll take it. The Pope said it was a good kit, so I want it. But I will tell you, I would see if I could find a track that I could replace those vinyl tracks. I mean, they're still fine. They're still pliable and everything. So there you go. Let's do another one, Steve. This is a double whammy today. Double whammy. I built this tank too. This was very, very, very exciting. This is the Panzer IV. And another same thing. Look at the packaging. Look at the beautiful work that they did on this kit. I wonder who was building the models for them back then. But again, all of the beautiful weathering and detail. And this looks like it's going to have vinyl tracks as well. But this is another beauty. Let's see here. Let's open this one up. I got high hopes for this one. Again, what's the price? This one's even cheaper than the tractor, Steve. I don't quite understand that, but it's cheaper. $36.95 for this one. maybe if you bought both of them together, maybe Katie would give you a little bit of a deal. I don't know. I don't own the business. Here we go. Same thing. Beautiful. What scale is this, by the way? This is
1/35.
1/35 scale. It looks small for a second. Again, same thing. The history. Now this one does not show you the sprues, but you're going to start out with all your wheels. Then you're going to get into, here's your decals. Decals, like the other ones, look good. I don't see any problems with the decal. Tiny bit of yellowing. But being that these are screen printed decals, we talked about this before. These aren't digitally printed. This is screen printed. This is the kind of decals you want, especially for older decals. If they're screen printed, they tend to hold up under aging.
I remember their decals are pretty high grade.
Yeah, they were probably made by Cartograph, I would imagine, back in the day. So instructions, just sort of normal tank instructions, and then here in the end they have the, you know, it's interesting because Italy does this today. These look like Italy instructions, essentially current Italy instructions, because this is essentially an Italy kit, and it, you know, co-branded with Testors. But very interesting. Oh, it has some crew too. Let's see how they look. There's your painting guide. Let's look in here. Same thing. Yep, it's got vinyl tracks, Steve. Get to open this for the very first time since 1979 or 1980. Made in Italy. You know, it's, again, this very rigid plastic. But the detail, all of the diamond plating and everything on the tops of the tank, what do you call them, fenders, or whatever the hell you want to call them, look very good. I wonder if they probably make this kit today, Steve.
They
and probably
do.
somebody has this, maybe even Italy. But it looks, that would be interesting to look up. Here's your vinyl treads again. I hate vinyl treads. I'd rather go through the aggravation of building each tread, or having it in sections like Tamiya does for its 1/48 scale, than this. This, you're going to have to heat this to get it flat. You're going to have to heat it to get it around. You're going to have to heat it to get it to sag, and it's just going to be a pain in the butt. For a beginner, I guess this is much easier, but the end effect isn't that great. Now let's look at the quality of the figures in here. The quality of sculpting on the figures looks really good. I wouldn't put it in the same league as Tamiya, but it's because Tamiya, in my opinion, has the best sculpted figures. Except I just got a figure from for my BF 109 from Zuke Mura. That was the best molded figure I have ever seen, the best sculpted figure I've ever seen by Zuke Mura. Just incredible. But this looks really good. All the wheels, there's no flash. There's no flash whatsoever that I can see. Be careful with that rigid plastic though. It's easy to crack, and so just be careful with that. Here is your lower tank hull, Italy. Looks very nice, detailed very nicely. Here's the top of the lower hull, looks great. I gotta say, Steve, I think this is a winner, except for the tracks. Tracks, to me, are a miss, but that's okay. I'm sure you can find some replacement tracks out there. Plenty of other 1/35 scale kits out there that are gonna have tracks that you could put together for this thing. There's no doubt about that. Man, these bring back memories, Steve. These are terrific kits, and but for me, you know, is it the best kit ever? No, but the packaging, to me, if I can get the oops. You know what? We're gonna hold that for a little bit later. We'll tape that back on there. It's still gonna be $36.95.
Well, they'll have provenance.
Absolutely. So I wanted to say, fantastic. Testors brings back so many memories. the airplanes. I can remember so many different Testors kits that I did. C-47 Skytrain was one that it's a very vivid memory of doing that, because that was my first diorama I ever did, was with the Testors C-47 Skytrain. But man, I built a ton of Testors kits, and I remember the first Testors was the first company, if you remember this, Steve, that did a metallic finish on the paint. Remember, and it had the different panels that were done differently.
Right,
So do you remember that?
Yeah.
Not that I would ever use that today, but I always thought that was the coolest thing ever.
It was pretty high tech for the time.
I believe it was the P-51 Mustang that they produced.
They did. I had that kit.
Did you? And it had the different, and I think they did a Thunderbolt as well.
They did.
The same way, if my memory serves me correctly.
And I think they had kit numbers 519 and 520.
Well, there you go. See? But these are great, and they really influenced my packaging design at Hasbro, believe it or not. And now at Hasbro, we did an illustration on the front, but a very realistic illustration. If you go and look at that packaging that I did for G.I. Joe Rise of Cobra, you'll understand kind of the feeling that I was going for when we did that packaging. But boy, what the great memories, Steve. Now I'm going to give you a really good memory right now. This is a memory. I am going back to the birthplace of my model building. And I get this question all the time. When did I start model building? What was my first model, was the question I get all the time. And I tell the story over and over and over again, that when I was a young boy, and I think I was 7 years old, and my parents gave my babysitter $5, and remember, my older brother was a model builder, but he would never teach me how to do any kind of model building or anything. He was always locked in his room, and then I'd have to sneak in there and look at the models. But I wanted to build models so bad because my older brother Dave built models. So my parents gave my babysitter $5 and said I could get something. Okay, so we went to the Little General. I'll never forget this. That was the convenience store kind of at the end of our street, or down the street, Edgewood Drive, then down to St. Lucie Boulevard, and down to Little General. Still there. The store is still there to this day. And I went in there with her, and lo and behold, there was a model kit there. I couldn't believe it. I had to have the model kit. And the babysitter allowed me to buy the model kit, and I took it home and I attempted to build it. It was terrible. And ladies and gentlemen, this morning when I was looking for kits, and we found the Testors kit, Katie pulled this model out of the box, and my jaw hit the floor. I couldn't believe it. It was my very first model kit that I ever built, and that is the SSN Skipjack. This, ladies and gentlemen, was my very first model. I have not seen this model. Steve, I'm gonna need your knife. I have not seen this model since the 70s. When I built this one, Steve's got to find his knife. I can't just tear this box.
Here it is.
Thank you, sir. So we saw this. I said, I have got to unbox this today because it is just, it is some kind of a memory. Now, I did an absolute terrible job. I'll never forget getting glue all over the place. I'll never forget my babysitter sitting there with me trying to help me do this. And it was a complete disaster. And I remember that I was upset and I was crying, and because I couldn't build like my brother Dave. And here we are, the SS. Now, I have not looked at this thing since, I don't know what year, 1970, it was early 70s, mid 70s. So here, let's open up the Skipjack and take a look at it. And there it is. Look at that, and it's still in the plastic. This is just incredible. I remember trying to put this thing together, and being that it was a monogram, it probably didn't fit very well. And I'm trying to see right now. See, I'm already would be frustrated and crying, just like I was back in the 70s. Now I know why I had such a problem. Okay, I got it together. It fits not too bad, but I can see where for a young kid, 7 years old, that would be difficult to get to get together. And then we have, but I remember I built this all in, well, I tried to build it all in the evening. So it's a very simple model, and I would say to this day, this would be a great model for a beginner. But I can tell you this, I'm taking this home with me, so I have this forever. And if I can find a duplicate of it, I will build this as a homage to my younger days, to my very first model kit. And I cannot believe when Katie pulled this out. Let's look at this. Pulled this out of the box, and there it was. You talk about a simple model build. This was pretty simple. You know, think back, this was a good model for me to pick to try to build at 7 years old. You know, this isn't a bad one. And this would be a great model today for some youngster wanting to start model building. And you could do this one. He or she could do that one. And the detail on it isn't bad. I think it would make for a very nice model. And this is one that I have to do because it means so much to me, the skipjack. And I can tell you, I'm happy that I can share this with you because I am asked all the time, what was my first model? And here it is, Steve, right here. There it is, talking about bringing back memories. That is something else. Coming up, ladies and gentlemen, May 18th, we have the big model show. I will be the guest judge at the model show. You can, it's Harry's Hobbies and Collectibles model event, model at the Franklin Elks Lodge in Franklin, Massachusetts. We would love for you to come out, fly out, come here any way that you can. Take a train, walk, hitchhike, be a hobo on a. You could sneak on a train like a hobo.
That'd be good.
And get over here that way. But however you can get here, stow away in the wheel well of a Southwest Airlines jet and get over here. We are a Southwest hub here in Providence, Rhode Island, so you could stow away in the wheel well. You know, some people have made it that way. There's tons of things you could do to get over here.
Hot air balloon.
Hot air balloon. Be careful of the power lines. I will not go in an air balloon. I have seen too many of those freaking horror videos of people getting, you know, roasted alive in a hot air balloon. That is not the way to go. Not the way to go at all, Steve. So hot air balloon, I would not recommend.
Trebuchet. An enormous slingshot.
An enormous slingshot. A catapult. Isn't that a trebuchet?
Yeah.
Yes. Submarine.
Sure.
Yeah. You can, any way that you can get here, ladies and gentlemen, I would get here. And May 18th is going to be a lot of fun. And Harry's always puts on a great model show. And this will be my first one that I'm truly involved in the show, and we would love to have you come out. There's gonna be a lot of unbuilt kits, a lot of vintage kits, a lot of all sorts of stuff that you can just you know, Barbie dream houses, you name it. It's gonna be here. So if there's something for the whole family. And Harry is going to do his annual puppet show, which is one of the greatest shows that you've ever seen. It's a 3-hour puppet show. A little bit of an intermission in between, but Harry, it's incredible. He does the history of the U.S. presidents, which is incredible. Especially his Jimmy Carter is just something else.
Oh, you swear it's him?
It is incredible. You got to see that. And then he does the reenactment of Noah's Ark with the whole flood and the whole. It is a show. And Harry just puts on. It is something else. So you got to come and see that. And then you got the guest banjo players coming in. They're going to play banjos. It is going to be just an event for the whole family. And you want to get here and bring your pets. There's a dog show afterwards. So you got to come in. You dress your dog up as your favorite Greek god. That is the theme this year. So you're going to dress your dog up in your favorite Greek god, and we're going to have a whole contest for your pets. So don't forget that. And then it's Stepchildren Day. So if you're divorced, bring your stepkids. Stepkids are getting muscle T-shirts that say "I'm a stepkid" on them, and it's going to be incredible. So you want to come and get that.
Oh, it's going to be huge.
It is going to be huge. That's a big draw every year. Don't forget the big flip-flop giveaway, because it's going to be coming summertime. So we have flip-flops for everybody. It is going to be unbelievable. Unbelievable.
It's going to be a really big show.
Of course, I'm making some of that up. It's a model show. We're going to have models and toys that you can buy, but we're going to have a lot of fun, and I'll be there. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Please. Oh, I was just featured in Magneto magazine, ladies and gentlemen, one of the most read automotive magazines in the world. I am completely honored that Magneto would feature an article on, of all things, the Pope of Plastic. I can't even believe it, how I swindled my way into Magneto magazine. But I'm in there, so go to Magneto magazine online, and you can read a big article about me on there, which is a really great article.
Or it will be in a future print issue.
It will be they're having me build a model for the magazine, and it's going to be the Tamiya Honda F1 car, and I'm going to be building that for the magazine, and they're going to do a whole feature on me in the actual print magazine, which is going to be really exciting. But right now you can read the article about me, and most of it is true. I will say that most of it's true. It's not fake news. So please go and check out Magneto magazine online, and you can read all about me. And then please go by my website, thepopoplastic.com. And lastly, ladies and gentlemen, please like and subscribe. It's important. Please like and subscribe if you like what you see. This takes a lot of energy to come here every week for you people to do these unboxings. So, all you have to do is press the little like button and the subscribe button. It's free, for God's sakes. That's all I ask. I'll be back every week to do these from Harry's Hobbies. Make sure you come down here. We love it at Harry's. We love you. We love model building. We especially love vintage models. Please come by. And also watch me on TikTok Live every night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then obviously here on YouTube. We love you. We will see you again next week with some beautiful vintage model kits. And that is all for now.